You talked a lot about water as a major issue facing Patterson. What steps do you propose the city take to ensure quality, quantity, and delivery of water for the future of Patterson?
Well, one of the steps that I have been working on this year and hope to pick back up after the election is a regional approach to looking at the conditions of water supply, and also what we can do regionally with, say, a partner down in Newman, and look at our neighboring communities as well. Uh, one of the ideas is possibly doing a joint use water treatment plant rather than bearing the costs all ourselves. So it's steps like that I would take first.
How does the proposed West Park development play into those regional partnerships?
Well, honestly, they're sandwiched in the middle, and as we know, Crow's Landing has some issues with regards to water supply, quality, and so forth. In fact, I believe they're all on septic over there as well. So despite whoever ends up developing at Crow's Landing, we are going to have to look at being a good neighbor one way or the other. Crow's Landing is sandwiched between Patterson and Newman.
So could you see West Park as a potential partner in this regional water supply system?
I believe that they should be involved in any talks. Whomever is developing at the airbase should be participating in the discussions and solutions.
What city mirrors your vision of Patterson, and why?
My vision of Patterson. Oh my goodness. Well, you know, there's a lot of wonderful little cities around around the state. If you look at sometime, you know, with our downtown being in the condition that it's in, needing more anchors and perhaps a facelift and more boutiques, more shops, more interesting things, you know, to go to. You could look to the redevelopment, say, that Turlock's had been undertaking in their downtown. It's absolutely turning out stunning. Newman, for instance, they're a little bit smaller than we are, but their downtown is stunning, and it's thriving. In this county, I'd say probably also Ripon, which is a very nice downtown. And I don't know that Ripon's downtown has ever died off the way, you know, some downtowns seem to do.
Great. With most development being geared towards Sperry and Ward Avenues, what can you do to ensure that the east side does not fall further behind?
Well, I think one of the things that this council's already done, and a decision that I am proud of, is the Villages of Patterson. To me, that equalizes the east side versus the west side. If you looked at the west side development over the years, all we've had is newer homes going in there, all the shopping amenities going on to the west, and yet we've had two small developments of housing going into the east side of the town without any additional parks, without any additional shopping amenities except for the plaza next to the storage shed at the corner of First and Las Palmas. And if you think about every time somebody wants to grocery shop, they have to go all the way to the west side. It just seems like there's an imbalance. So I think the decision that I was speaking to was the Villages of Patterson, and with the housing and the housing mix that it brings to the east side, it's also going to bring some industrial as well as some retail, neighborhood retail, and I think that's going to help the east side balance with the west.
Okay. Are you for or against the half-cent sales tax? Why?
In theory, I know that this county should implement the half-cent sales tax. And that is because it puts us in that self-help category, and what that does for us as a county, I'm not talking as a city, as a county, that assists us in going after additional state and federal funding that we wouldn't otherwise be qualified to get our hands on. Now, where I'm at personally, I would say that it's a very difficult time to ask people to tax themselves. I personally don't want to pay additional sales tax, and it's a very difficult time to be passing these types of bonds.
Are you going to vote yes or no on it?
I'm going to vote. I think you want me to say what I'm going to vote. Okay, I'm gonna vote no on it at this time.
how would you encourage smart growth and development for the future of our economy and city?
Oh, it's one of the subjects that we're facing with the general plan right now. We're doing our general plan revision, and I think one of the struggles is when we start to look at more of the smart growth principles, which encourages the growth to happen within the cities, as well as building in more compact format where you're not spreading out and taking up more land than you need to. It's kind of a difficult thing to find that balance, because if you look at our community and the way it's laid out, especially like in the old downtown, we've got wider boulevards, we've got bigger homes, and then you start to go to the newer sections of town, the roads are narrower and the homes are still big, but the yards are a lot smaller. But the affordability factor hasn't been there. So when you start looking at smart growth, you start looking at some of the other things that play into that, like the mixed housing use, the different pricing categories that could fall in, and also the preservation of land. So it's something that I think we're going to have to look into a lot more, because that is the wave of the future, that is being mandated by the state, that you have, that you actually start employing these smart growth principles. And it's just changing the way we feel and the way we look at our community. It's changing for the entire state, not just us.